Yeah, the arena lights felt cold at the night, Vegas noise shaking through the hallway. People screaming before the walkout started like the whole crowd already knew the story. Years disappeared inside those moments, injuries, losses, silence, pressure. Still somehow the name survived everything. Korean Superboy never fully vanished. Backstage hands wrapped tight and tape, breathing slow while the speakers rattled. Coaches talking but the focus different. This wasn't just another fight anymore. This was every sleepless rehab session, every lonely training camp morning. Every moment people said he finished, stacked together inside one heartbeat. The tunnel over through white smoke, bass shaking the entire building. Fans screaming louder every second while the walkout music hit harder. The pressure feel familiar. Eventually the camera's attention, the noise, some fighters break inside those moments. Others become legends because of them. Cold stare, fast breath, still standing, nothing left. Fight night, bright lights, heart racing all night. Korean Superboy return, heavy bass and burning lungs. Every scar, every hard year still made him stronger here. Korean Superboy returns, pressure in his veins, heavy drums and fight night lights still running through the pain. The cage door locked with a loud snap in, suddenly the whole world quieter. That strange moment before violence starts, where instincts replace conversation. His opponent move with nervous energy, fast feet bouncing across the canvas, but do whole look completely different, like pressure sharpened every movement. The crowd exploded after the first exchange, one clean shot changing the atmosphere. Commentators screaming through the speakers while adrenaline flooded the building. That's why people love combat sports, not just violence, not just knockouts, but watching somebody refuse surrender in front of the entire world. The bassline rolled beneath the arena like the fight had its own soundtrack. Every combination sounding heavier under thousands of screaming voices. Years away made him colder, mentally more patient, more dangerous somehow. The type of confidence built slowly through surviving difficult seasons. No fear, no doubt, still fighting right now. Heavy hands, sharp mind, still dangerous. Fight time! Round after round, the pace intensified, sweat flying beneath bright lights. Both fighters breathing through exhaustion, still refusing to step backward. The crowd stays standing the whole fight. Phones raised high through every exchange, because moments like this feel bigger than records, rankings, or statistics. This was about survival and identity, about proving something to yourself, about walking through pressure publicly and refusing to mentally collapse. One final combination shook the arena, the crowd erupting instantly afterward, like years of frustration exploded together inside one violent, beautiful moment. The horn sounded through the chaos, bodies exhausted beneath white lighting, and the whole raised his hands slowly like the storm finally passed. That's why comeback stories hit harder, because pain gives victories meaning, and fighters who survive dark seasons always carry different energy. Korean Superboy returns, still alive tonight, heavy dreams beneath the lights. Korean Superboy returns, pressure shaped his soul and discipline took control. Slicker above and cold air moving through the tunnel. Coach is talking somewhere beside him, but his focus already inside the cage. The crowd sounded distant at first, like thunder outside a closed building. Then the music hit through the speakers, and suddenly the whole arena exploded. Fans screaming the name relentlessly, phones glowing beneath dark lighting. Every camera trying to capture the pressure surrounding that moment. Years away from the spotlight changes fighters, some lose confidence permanently, others come back carrying scars that sharpen every instant inside them. His hands wrapped tight beneath the gloves, breathing slow while the bassline pounded. That heartbeat rhythm felt familiar, like violence became second nature again. The tunnel filled with white smoke and Korean flags waved through the crowd. That energy impossible to manufacture, built through years of surviving battles. Cold eyes, heavy pressure, sharp mind, no fear, no rest, still breathing through stress. Walk out through the fire, heavy bass getting louder. Every scar, every hard night still made the fighter stronger. Walk out through the fire, pressure in his veins, fighting lights and screaming crowds still running through the pain. The cage door locked behind him sharply, and everything suddenly felt smaller. No social media, no headlines now, just instincts under bright white lights. His opponent bounced across the canvas, trying to hide nervous energy, but do whole look calm beneath pressure, like years away, built colder focus. The first clean combination landed heavy, the crowd erupted instantly afterward. Commentators yelling through the speakers while adrenaline flooded the building. The fire arenas feel electric, sometimes thousands emotionally connected together. Every punch carrying larger meaning than outsiders could ever understand. The bassline rolled beneath the violence, like the fight had its own soundtrack. Every movement sharper and cleaner under massive arena lighting. Years of rehab and painful training. invisible inside every exchange. The type of patience only earned through surviving difficult seasons. Fight hard, stand tall, still dangerous. Through it all, heavy sound, bright lights, still standing. Fight night. Round after round, the pace intensified, sweat flying across the canvas. Both fighters breathing through exhaustion, still refusing to slow momentum. The crowd never fully sat down, too much tension inside the arena, because everybody understood instinctively 1 second could change everything. This wasn't only about rankings anymore, this felt personal, emotionally. A fighter reclaiming his identity in front of the entire world. One counter cracked through the silence, and the whole arena lost control. Beer flying across expensive seats, while security yelled through chaos. The horn echoed through the building, fighters exhausted beneath white lights, and Duho stared into the crowd like he finally heard himself again. That's why comeback stories matter, because pain get victories waiting. Fighters who survive dark years always carry different energy. Walk out through the fire, still alive tonight. Heavy dreams beneath the lights. Walk out through the fire, pressure built his soul, and discipline took control. The arena sounded alive before midnight. Bass shaking through giant speakers. Fans packed shoulder to shoulder, waiting for violence beneath bright lights. Vegas air felt heavy that weekend. Every sports channel replaying highlights. People arguing predictions endlessly like the fight already became history. Backstage, too hosted and usually quiet. Hands wrapped slowly beneath cold light. In the calm before combat, always dangerous, especially for fighters carrying something personal. Years disappeared during those moments. Injury, silence, pressure, frustration. Still somehow the hunger survived everything. Hidden underneath patient discipline. The walkout music cracked through the building, and the crowd erupted immediately. That type of reaction impossible to fake, built from years of unforgettable wars. Korean flags wave through the darkness, phones glowing beneath white smoke, while Duho walked through the cage like pressure became fuel again. Heartbeat of the octagon, heavy bass all night long. Every scar, every hard round still made him stronger now. Heartbeat of the octagon, pressure in his chest, fight lights and screaming crowds still pushing through the stress. The cage locked with mechanical violence, and suddenly the whole world smaller. No distractions left inside those walls, only instinct moving in timing. His opponent open with nervous pressure, fast combinations across the canvas. But Duho looked colder tonight, like pain sharpened every reaction. The first clean counter landed hard, and the arena exploded instantly. Commentators screaming through microphones while adrenaline flooded the building. That's why combat sports feel cinematic. The tension before everything changes, thousands emotionally connected together inside one brutal, unpredictable moment. The baseline rolled beneath the exchanges like the violence had rhythm tonight. Every movement carrying intention under massive white arena lights. Years of recovery visible now, not weakness but sharpened patience. The type of confidence built slowly through surviving difficult seasons. Fight hard, move sharp, still standing. After dark, cold stare, fast breath, still dangerous, nothing left. Round after round, the pace intensified. Body stripping sweat beneath bright lighting. Still need the fighter backing down, fully too much pride. Trapped inside the cage, the crowd stays standing through everything. Beer flying after heavy combinations, because moments like these feel larger than rankings. Records on contrast. This was about reclaiming identity, about proving something to yourself, about surviving public pressure without mentally collapsing underneath it. One final exchange at the building, the crowd screaming uncontrollably afterward, like years of tension released together inside one unforgettable moment. The horn echoed through the arena, bodies exhausted against the canvas, and Duho raised his gloves slowly like the storm finally ended. That's why fighters become legends, not because they avoid suffering, but because they walk through it publicly and still refuse surrender. Heartbeat of the octagon, still alive tonight. Heavy dreams beneath the lights. Heartbeat of the octagon, with violent energy, and suddenly the atmosphere changed. No distractions left beyond that point, only movement, time, and an instinct. His opponent opened aggressively, fast combinations across the canvas, but Duho stayed patient underneath pressure, like experience slowed everything down. Then one clean counter landed sharply, the arena erupted immediately afterward. Commentators yelling through static noise while adrenaline flooded every scene. That's why arenas feel electric, thousands emotionally connected together. Every exchange carrying consequences far beyond simple competition. The baseline rolled beneath the violence like a fight had its own soundtrack. Every movement sharper and cleaner under massive wide arena lights. He's a way created, code of discipline, not fear, not hesitation. The type of patience only earned through surviving difficult seasons. Fight hard, stand tall, still dangerous. Through it all, heavy sound, bright light, still standing. Fight now. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Round after round, the pace intensified, sweat flying beneath bright light. Both fighters breathing through exhaustion, still refusing surrender completely. The crowd stays standing to the finish, phones race through every exchange, because everybody understood instinctively these moments become history later. This wasn't only about winning anymore, this felt emotional for the audience. A fighter reclaiming identity publicly after years away from the spotlight. One final combination shook the arena, the crowd exploding uncontrollably afterward. Beer flying across expensive seats while security yelled through chaos. All echo through the building, bodies exhausted against the cage, and Duho stared into the crowd like he finally heard himself again. That's why comeback stories matter, because pain gives victories meaning, and fighters who survive dark years always carry different energy. Never left the fight, still alive tonight. Heavy dreams beneath the lights. Never left the fight, pressure shaped his soul, and discipline took control. Let's go! Go, go, go! The crowd got louder the second his name appeared, not because people expected perfection, but because they remembered chaos, the type only real fighters create. Las Vegas lights spinning, the arena gold cameras floating above the octagon. Beer spilling across expensive seats while bass pounded through giant speakers. Backstage felt colder than the arena. Tape rack tied around swollen knuckles. Coaches speaking in short, sharp sentences. Everybody understanding what this meant. Years disappeared inside those moments. The injuries, the silence, the doubt. All compressed into one walkout song and one long breath before violence. Korean flags move through the audience slowly. Phones race high above the darkness. Fans screaming Superboy repeatedly like the past never disappeared. He stepped through smoke without smiling. No dramatic gestures, no wasted movement. Just eyes locked forward to the cage like he had already accepted the war. South Korea in the corner. Fight night under pressure. Heavy hands and louder drums. For the whole arena electric. South Korea in the corner. Heart beating through the speakers. Every round another storm. Breaking through the ceiling. Did the cage close with metallic violence, and instantly the energy changed. No more music, no more headlines, only instincts inside white lights. His opponent moved fast, early, sharp kicks cutting through distance, but Duho looked completely settled like the chaos slowed down around him. The first real exchange exploded loudly, both men firing without hesitation. Crowd jumping out of expensive seats, commentators losing control instantly. That's why people love violent sports, not because blood entertains them, but because courage becomes visible in the middle of public pressure. Every punch sounded heavier tonight, because history followed both fighters. Every movement carrying tension under giant cameras and screaming fans. The baseline beneath the arena made the whole building vibrate, like the fight itself had rhythm and the crowd became part of it. Bright lights, cold stare, still dangerous, still there. Fight hard, stand tall, no surrender. Through it all. Middle of the second round now, sweat flying under white lighting. Neither fighter slowing momentum, too much pride trapped inside the cage. The crowd stays standing through everything, nobody even checking phones anymore, because moments like these feel larger than rankings, records, or contracts. Duho slip one combination cleanly, then answer with brutal precision. The entire arena reacting together like thunder, breaking through the building. That moment changed the atmosphere instantly. The opponent suddenly fighting backwards while Korean chants echoed loudly across thousands of screaming people. The final horn cut through the chaos, bodies exhausted against the fence, and Duho stood there breathing heavily with blood running beneath bright lights. No speech needed after moments like that. The arena already understood everything, so fighters win quietly, others leave electricity behind them. No slow entrance tonight. The music hit and he started moving immediately. Fast steps through flashing lights. Like hesitation never existed. Security trying to hold the crowd back. Fans leaning over barricades screaming. Phones shaking inside raised hands. While smoke covered the tunnel entrance. The bass sounded violent tonight. Not emotional, not cinematic. Just raw, aggressive energy built for collision under bright lights. Duho kept his eyes forward, ignoring cameras and commentators. Because once fight weekends, only instincts matter anymore. Yeah, years away from the spotlight changes how fighters carry themselves. Some return desperate for approval, others return prepared for war. The walkout felt heavier this time, not because the arena was bigger, but because silence and recovery built sharper hunger inside it. Walk fast to the cage. No fear left to explain. Heavy drums and white lights, everything running through his veins. Walk fast to the cage. Pressure shaking the floor. Every step toward the fence sounded louder than before. Yeah, the cage locked with a sharp crack, and instantly the world got smaller. No crowd, no headlines, no distractions, just time and movement and survival. His opponent circled aggressively early, trying to pressure with quick combinations, but through holes stayed dangerously calm, like he already understood the rhythm. One clean right hand changed everything. The crowd exploding above the octagon, beer flying through expensive sections, commentators screaming into microphones. That's why arenas become addicted to tension before momentum shift. Thousands holding breath together, the waiting for violence to decide something. The bass roll beneath the exchanges like the fight, a mechanical heartbeat. Every movement carrying danger under giant white arena lighting. Years of difficult rehabilitation visible inside his patience tonight. No wasted movement, no panic, just controlled violence and sharp reactions. Fight time, fast pace, no weakness in his face. Heavy hands, cold mind, still hunting under light. Fight, 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 fight. Fight till boys fight. Third round and the pace still brutal. Body shining with sweat and blood. Neither fighter willing to slow down. Too much pride trapped inside the cage. The audience stays standing non-stop. Nobody looking away for seconds because everybody understood instinctively one exchange could change history. Two holes slipped backward off the fence, then exploded forward immediately. Three clean shots cutting through chaos, and the building erupted violently. That moment felt bigger than victory. It felt like identity returning, like years of frustration breaking apart in the white lies and heavy drums. The final horn echoed loudly. Bodies exhausted against the canvas, and Duho walked the cage slowly, pointing towards screaming Korean fans. Some fighters chase popularity, others become symbols accidentally. Tonight the whole arena understood why his name survived all these years. Walk fast to the cage, still dangerous tonight. Heavy noise and brighter lights turn pressure into power. Walk fast to the cage, energy shaking the arena. One more battle carved his name deeper into the sport. Even before the cage door closed, people already knew what kind of fight this was. No cautious moving, no safe decision, just violence waiting beneath arena lights. Vegas sounded enormous that night. Bass pounding through giant speakers, fans packed shoulder to shoulder, holding drinks while screaming predictions. Backstage felt colder than outside, tape tightening around bruised hands. Coaches pacing through narrow hallways while Duho sat perfectly still. That calm looked dangerous, somehow not nervous, not emotional. The type of silence fighters carry when they already accepted pain. Smoke rolled through the walkout tunnel, Korean flags rising through darkness. In the second his music started, the entire building reacted instantly. Their reaction wasn't built from hype, it came from years of unforgettable wars. Because fans always remember fighters who refuse boring fights completely. Superboy, never felt safe. Heavy pressure, every exchange, bright lights shaking through the crowd. Every second felt dangerous. Superboy, never felt safe. No slow moments in the cage. Heavy hands and violent pace turn the whole arena frantic. Yeah, the cage locked with brutal force, and suddenly the noise felt distant. No music left inside that space, only instincts and sharp breathing. His opponent opened carefully early, trying to manage distance and timing, but Duho pushed forward relentlessly, like the pressure fueled aggression first. Clean combination landed loudly, and the crowd exploded immediately. Commentators yelling over each other while security rushed toward the barricades. That's what made his fights different. Nobody expected safe decisions. Every exchange felt unpredictable, like chaos waiting to happen. The baseline underneath the arena made every movement feel cinematic. Every punch carrying tension under giant white television lights. Years away from with violent combinations. A whole arena reacting together like thunder, breaking through concrete. Back pressure felt familiar tonight, not overwhelming, not distracting, just fuel moving through his chest under white lights and roaring crowds. One spinning attack missed barely, then both fighters traded immediately. Swept flying and me, giant cameras, while commentators completely lost composure. The final horn echoed violently, bodies exhausted against the cage, and duo stood there breathing heavily with the whole crowd still screaming. Some fighters build records carefully, others build unforgettable moments. Tonight the arena understood clearly which type he always was. Superboy, never fought safe. Still chaos under the lights, heavy drums and violent rhythm shaking through the building. Superboy, never fought safe. Crowd roaring through the smoke, one more war survived tonight, and the city felt every second. The commentators kept talking about time away, about injuries and long recovery years, but none of that mattered anymore. The second the cage door closed, the arena looked violent from above. Red lights moving through the audience, bass rattling beneath the octagon floor while cameras floated over the crowd. Two hoes bounce slightly near the fence, eyes sharp beneath white lighting. No dramatic expression on his face, just calm breathing before impact. His opponent looked confident early, fast movement circling across the canvas, trying to test range and timing before the pressure fully exploded. And the first clean counter landed, sharp enough to change the atmosphere instantly. The crowd reacting like a bomb detonated, beer flying through expensive seeds. That's the thing about dangerous fighters, they don't need many openings. One mistake becomes unforgettable under bright lights and screaming crowd. He hit back like he never left, heavy hands through the pressure. Every star, every dark year, built something even colder, like he never left. Fight night shaking the speakers, every move and carry violence straight through the arena. The pace got ugly in the second round, both men breathing through exhaustion. Sweat flying across the cage floor while the audience screamed non-stop. Duho press forward aggressively now, no hesitation inside his combinations. Every exchange carrying intention like silence built rage inside him. A baseline underneath the arena made everything feel cinematic. Every clean shot sounding heavier beneath giant television lights. Commentators losing control emotionally, trying to describe the momentum swings, because fights like this stop feeling technical and start feeling personal. His opponent landed clean briefly, the crowd gasped together instantly, but the whole answer without stepping backward like pressure sharpened his reactions. That energy impossible to fake, built through years of difficult recovery. Fighters surviving dark seasons always move differently afterward. Bright lights, fast breath, still dangerous, nothing left. Heavy sound, cold stare, still moving through the air. Final round and nobody sit in the arena, too tense for comfort. Every exchange carrying consequences far bigger than rankings tonight. Duo slipped outside a combination and fired back with brutal time, and the whole building erupting together like thunder, spitting through concrete. People screaming Korean chants loudly, phone shaking inside raised hands, because everybody understood instinctively they were witnessing something real. Not a perfect polished performance, not some cautious calculated fight. This was violence mixed with resilience under giant lights and heavy bass. The horn echoed across the building, bodies exhausted against the fence, and Duho lifted his glove slowly while the audience stayed roaring. Some victories still temporary, others change how crowds remember you. Tonight the whole arena felt different, because he fought like he never disappeared, like he never left. Still fire in his heart, beating drums and brighter lights made the whole crowd feel it, like he never left. One more war survived publicly, and now the silence finally gone. Fight week changed the whole city atmosphere. Sports bars packed before sunset. Every screen replaying old highlights while fans argue predictions loudly. Vegas look restless, that weekend black SUVs outside the arena. Bass rolling through nearby streets like the event already started early. Inside the fighter hotel hallways, everything felt strangely quiet. Coaches speaking in low voices while tension moved room to room. Duho train late past midnight, sweat dripping across worn canvas. Sharp combinations under dim lighting, like he was rebuilding instincts again. That's what long layoffs do to fighters, make every return feel personal. Not just another paycheck or contract, but a chance to reclaim identity. The walkout rehearsal sounded enormous, speakers shaking empty seats violently. Even without the audience present, you could feel pressure growing already. limbs and the beer spilling across concrete floors. Fans screaming through every highlight while security rushed through aisles. Banners walkout music started suddenly and the atmosphere shifted instantly. Korean flags rising through darkness, phones glowing across the arena. Through her walk without looking sideways, straight toward the white lights, like he already accepted everything waiting on the other side of the cave. The first exchange happened quickly, no slow filling out process. Both men throwing with bad intentions while commentators screamed immediately. That's why violent fighters become famous, not because they avoid danger, but because they walk directly into it under massive public pressure. The baseline beneath the arena made every movement feel cinematic. Every punch carrying electricity across thousands of screaming people. Cold air, fight, pace, still danger. Face to face, heavy crowd, bright lights, whole city feels fine. Middle of the fight and chaos everywhere. Fans standing on top of chairs, security yelling in the barricades while combinations echo through the building. Do home move with sharpened patience. Now no wasted movement inside exchanges. Years of difficult recovery visible inside every reaction he made. One clean shot changed the energy instantly. The crowd roaring uncontrollably afterward, like the whole city exploded together inside one violent moment. That's when the arena stopped feeling normal and started feeling unforgettable. The type of fight people replay later while talking louder than usual. The horn echoed through the octagon, bodies exhausted beneath giant lights, and duos stood there breathing heavily while the crowd kept chanting loudly. Some nights sports become bigger than entertainment. Rankings on business tonight felt like one of those nights where emotion swallowed the whole building. Fight, we made the city louder. Still shaking through Vegas, heavy drums and screaming fans turn the whole night legendary. We made the city louder. And when the cage finally closed, everybody inside that arena knew something real happened. Yeah. Some fighters freeze beneath bright lights, too aware of cameras and pressure. But Duho always look different, like chaos made him calmer somehow. The octagon sat glowing and center stage bright lights cutting through smoke. Bass shaking beneath the canvas floor while the audience screamed endlessly. Backstage coaches check gloves carefully, tape tightening around swollen knuckles. Cold water bottles stacked on tables next to years of expectation. The hallway smell like sweat and adrenaline. Security moving crowds backward, fans reaching phones over barricades, trying to capture the walkout moment. Then the music hit violently in the entire building reacted instantly. Not polite applause, small cheers, real explosive fight night energy. He walked fast toward the cage, no hesitation in his movement, like pressure already became familiar after years surviving difficult seasons. The cage never felt too big. Heavy lights and louder hits, every scar, everyone survived. Still sharp in his instincts. Cage never felt too big. Pressure moving through the crowd, every step inside that fence made the whole arena louder. The first round started aggressively, no slow technical distance game. Both fighters throwing with intention while commentators lost composure early. One clean exchange for the audience, then the building exploded afterward. Beer flying above expensive sections while security pushed people backward. That's why fight nights feel addictive. 1 second changes everything. Thousands emotionally connected together inside one brutal, unpredictable moment. The baseline beneath the arena made every exchange feel heavier. Every movement carrying tension under giant white television lights. Two hosts flipped outside to kick sharply, then answer with violent precision. The type of timing built slowly through years of painful repetition. His opponent kept pressing forward desperately, trying to overwhelm the momentum. But the duo stayed dangerously composed, like the cage shrunk around him. Fast pace, cold stare, still hunting, still there. Heavy sound, bright smoke, every heartbeat feels close. Go! They're around in the crowd, exhausted, still screaming through every exchange. Nobody checking phones anymore, too much tension trapped inside the fight. Do hold back toward the fans, briefly then exploded forward immediately. 3 clean punches cracked loudly and the whole building lost control. Commentators yelling over each other, trying to explain the momentum swing, while Korean jams echo violently across thousands of standing fans. That moment changed the atmosphere completely. The fight stopped feeling competitive and started feeling emotional, like survival mixed with violence. The final horn echoed sharply, bodies exhausted against the cage, and Duo stood beneath white lights with blood running down his shoulder. Some fighters look smaller under pressure, others become impossible to ignore. Tonight the entire arena understood. The cage never scared us. The cage never felt too big. Still dangerous on the lights. Heavy drums and violent rhythm echoing through the building. Cage never felt too big. And when the smoke finally cleared, the whole crowd stayed standing. Long after the fight ended. The arena sounded impatient before the walkout. Fans already chanting loudly. Beer cups stacked beneath expensive seats where bass rolled through giant speakers. Fight nights in Vegas feel strange. Luxury mixed with violence. Bright lights over screaming crowds and millions watching from far away. Backstage, do host datum, usually calm. Stretch your shoulders beneath cold lighting. No dramatic speeches around him. Only focus thick inside the room. Years away. Changed his energy, not softer, not cautious. Just colder, more efficient somehow. Like silence, sharpened aggression. The tunnel feels slowly with smoke security. Pushing crowds backward. Then the music thundered suddenly, and the whole arena erupted instantly. That reaction came from memory, from old wars people never forgot, because dangerous fighters leave marks long after injuries and layoffs. He fought like a crowd, oh the noise, heavy drums beneath his voice. Every exchange shook the room like thunder breaking loose. He fought like a crowd, oh the noise, pressure crashing through the lights. Every second inside the cage felt louder than the night. The cage locked and everything narrowed, no headlines left inside those walls. Only time and movement and violence on the giant white arena. Lights as opponents circled aggressively early. Fast kicks cutting through distance, but duo stayed perfectly balanced. Like pressure slowed his heartbeat. One counter landed brutally clean, and the audience exploded afterward. Commentators screaming into microphones while cameras chase reactions everywhere. That's what makes certain fighters dangerous. Not power alone, not speed, but willingness to exchange publicly without fear of consequences. The baseline beneath the octagon made every movement feel cinematic. Every punch carrying the electricity across thousands of screaming people. His opponent kept trying combinations, but Duho answered immediately. The type of composure built slowly through surviving difficult years. Bright lights, fast breath, still dangerous. Nothing left, heavy hair, sharp eye, still moving through fight nights. Middle of the final round now, bodies exhausted beneath white lighting. Still need the fighter backing away. Too much pride trapped inside the cage. The audience stay standing through record thing, phones raised over screaming fans. Because moments like these feel bigger than contracts, rankings, or records. Do host slip backward off the fence and exploded forward with combinations. The entire arena reacting together like thunder splitting through concrete. That moment changed the energy completely. The crowd stopped acting like spectators and started sounding emotionally involved inside every violent exchange. The final horn echoed loudly, bodies exhausted against the cage, and Duho stared through the audience while thousands screamed his name. Some fighters win quietly, others create unforgettable atmospheres. Tonight the whole arena understood exactly which type he was. Exactly which type he was. He fought like a crowd, owed him noise. Still fire beneath the lights, heavy drums and violent rhythm running through the building. He fought like a crowd, owed him noise. And when the arena empties slowly, people still talk louder outside than before the fight began. The strange thing about long layoffs is every fight starts feeling personal. Not just competition anymore, but proof you still belong there. Vegas looked electric before midnight. Traffic packed around the arena base, rolling through giant speakers while fans flooded through security lines. Backstage felt colder than outside. Ice packs get a near gym bag. Tape tighten around bruised hands while coaches pace narrow hallways. Duho sat silent beneath white light in a wasted movement, no fake emotion. The type of calm fighters develop after surviving difficult years. Then the walkout music exploded loudly, smoke flooding across the Indian flags rising through darkness as the crowd completely lost control. The reaction felt emotional tonight, like people waited years for this moment, because comeback stories hit differently when the fighter already suffered publicly. Every round felt like a comeback. Heavy bass and white lights. Every scar, every loss, yeah. Still standing here tonight. Every round felt like a comeback. Pressure moving through his blood. Every exchange inside the cage felt bigger than before. The cage locked with metallic force, and instantly the noise faded. No cameras, no commentary. Now only instinct under pressure. His opponent opened aggressively. Fast combinations cutting through distance, but do hold stay perfectly patient, like experience slowed everything down. The first clean exchange cracked loudly. The audience erupting afterward. Commentators yelling without breathing while beer flew across the crowd. That's why combat sports feel cinematic. The tension before momentum shifts. Thousands emotionally connected together inside one violent, unpredictable moment. The baseline beneath the arena made every movement feel enormous. Every punch carrying consequence to the giant white television lights. Years of rehab and frustration visible inside every reaction. Not weakness, not hesitation, but sharpened hunger and discipline. Fight, pace, cold stare, still dangerous, still there. Heavy sound, fast heads, whole crowd going mad. Final round and nobody sitting, the entire arena screaming non-stop. Bodies exhausted beneath bright lights, still refusing to slow momentum. Do hold back toward the fence briefly, then answer with brutal combinations. The whole building exploding together like thunder inside. Concrete wall. That moment felt larger than victory, like identity returning publicly. Years of silence breaking apart on the bass and screaming fans. The horn echoed through the octagon, bodies exhausted against the cage, and Duho raced his gloves slowly while cameras flashed endlessly. Some fighters returned quietly, others changed the atmosphere completely. Tonight the whole arena understood why his name survives all these years. Every round felt like a comeback. Still alive beneath the lights. Heavy drums and violent heartbeats shaking through the building. Every round felt like a comeback. And when the crowd finally left, the noise stayed in their heads long after midnight. Yeah. What? Yeah. The bass to before the lights even dropped. The arena already shaking from anticipation. Fans packed shoulder to shoulder like nobody wanted to miss history. Vegas felt dangerous. The weekend fight posters covering casino walls. Sports bars replaying old knockouts while gamblers argued over outcomes loudly. Backstage, do hold rappers miss slowly. No nervous movement inside the room. Only cold breathing beneath white lights and coaches speaking in short sentences. That type of silence is something usually fighters talk before wars, but people carrying real pressure move differently before violence. Then the music detonated suddenly, smoke flooding through the tunnel entrance. The whole arena jumping to his feet before he even appeared fully. Phones glowing above, screaming fans, Korean flags waving through darkness, and Duho step through the smoke like he belonged there permanently. Superboy mode, heavy bass overload. Every scar, every wall built him even colder. Superboy mode, pressure in his blood, fight night shaking the arena like thunder from above. The cage closed with metallic force and the whole atmosphere tightened. No distractions left beyond that point, only movement, instinct, and timing. His opponent open with heavy pressure, fast kicks cutting through distance. But Duho stayed completely calm, like the chaos slowed around him. Nah, the first clean counter landed sharply, and the crowd exploded instantly. Beer flying across expensive seats while commentators screamed over static. That's why violent fighters become icons, not because they avoid danger, but because they attack pressure directly under giant white arena lights. The baseline beneath the octagon made every exchange feel cinematic. Every punch sounded heavier across thousands of screaming people. His combinations started flowing naturally, now sharp, clean, brutal timing. The type of confidence built slowly through surviving difficult years. Fight fast, move sharp, still dangerous. After dark, bright lights, cold stare, still hunting everywhere. Yeah, middle of the third and nobody sitting, fans screaming through every exchange. Security yelling near the barricades while chaos spread through the building. Duho slipped off the cage wall, then exploded forward immediately. Three clean punches landed violently, and the whole arena lost control. That moment changed the atmosphere instantly. The opponent suddenly backing up while Korean chants echo loudly across thousands of standing fans. Sweat flying beneath giant cameras, bodies exhausted under white light, and still both men refusing caution. Too much pride trapped inside the cage. The final horn echoed sharply, bodies breathing hard against the fence, and Duho stared into the crowd like he finally heard himself again. Some fighters create highlights, others create memories. The city dangerous. Still there. Heavy sound. Right slow. Every heartbeat feels close. The tunnel looked endless before the walkout. Smoke floating beneath white lights. Security pushing fans backward while the speakers rattle the floor. Do whole walk without emotion, no smile, no dramatic gestures, just eyes locked on the octagon like pressure already meant nothing. That calm looked dangerous tonight, especially inside a screaming arena because fighters carrying real confidence usually move the quietest. Vegas lights flashed across the crowd, phones glowing through the darkness, beer cups raised above expensive seats while bass rolled through the building. The music sounded heavier than usual, not cinematic, not inspirational, just raw, aggressive energy built for collision under bright lights. Korean chants started spreading slowly, then suddenly the whole crowd joined in. That type of reaction impossible to fake, built through unforgettable wars. Cold walkout, heavy pressure now, fight night shaking through the crowd like thunder, breaking now. Cold walkout, bass under his feet, every step toward the cage made the whole arena scream. Yeah, the cage locked with violent force and the atmosphere changed immediately. No headlines left inside those walls, only movement, timing, and survival. His opponent moved aggressively early, fast combinations cutting through distance, but Duho stayed dangerously patient, like his away sharpened his instincts. One counter landed brutally clean, the audience erupting afterward. Commentators shouting over each other while cameras chased every reaction. That's why arenas become addictive. 1 second changes everything, thousands emotionally connected together inside one brutal, unpredictable moment. The baseline beneath the octagon made every movement feel enormous. Every punch carrying electricity under giant white television lights. His reactions look sharper than night, no wasted movement. In exchange is the type of composure fighters build through surviving difficult years. High pace, cold stare, still dangerous, still dangerous. Heavy sound, bright smoke, every sound, bright smoke, every heartbeat feels close. Final round and nobody's sitting, bodies exhausted beneath bright light, and still both fighters throwing aggressively. Too much pride left inside the cage. Do hold back to the fence briefly, then exploded forward with combinations. The crowd screaming uncontrollably, like the roof might break open. That moment changed the fight completely. The opponent suddenly fighting backward, while the Ween flag shook violently across rows of standing fans. Sweat and blood beneath giant cameras, commentators completely losing composure because moments like these feel bigger than rankings, money or contract. The horn echoed across the arena, bodies exhausted against the fence, and Duho lifted his gloves slowly while the crowd stayed roaring. Some walkouts feel temporary, others become part of fight history. Tonight the whole arena understood why cold fighters stay dangerous longest. Still fire in his lungs, heavy drums and white lights shaking through the building. And after everything ended, the noise still followed him out into Vegas streets. Yeah. Bro. Let's go. The first round already felt violent, but the second changed everything. The pace got ugly immediately, like go fighters stop respecting danger. Bass rolled beneath the arena floor, fans screaming before combinations landed, beer spilling through packed aisles while cameras floated over chaos. Duho looked colder tonight, no hesitation in exchanges. Every movement sharp and intentional, like years away, built harder instincts. His opponent kept pressing aggressively, trying to drown him with pressure, but Duho answered every exchange without giving ground, emotionless. That's why certain fights feel different, not technical, not careful, just raw momentum shifting constantly under giant white arena lights. The crowd started standing together, nobody comfortable sitting anymore, because moments like these feel unstable, like violence waiting to explode fully. Second round chaos, heavy bass non-stop, every exchange shook the cage like thunder, ready to drop. Second round chaos, pressure in the smoke, every punch sounded louder than the roaring crowd below. One clean hook landed, suddenly the whole arena gasping together, commentators yelling through microphones while security rushed the barricades. Duho pushed forward aggressively now, sharp combinations cutting through distance, the type of confidence fighters carry after surviving pain for years. The baseline beneath the octagon millions of screaming fans. Sweat flying beneath giant lights, bodies crashing into the fence. Still need the fighters slowing down. Too much pride trapped inside the wall. That's what makes violent fights legendary. Not perfect technique alone, but willingness to keep moving forward while exhaustion destroys everything. The crowd sounded completely unhinged now. Phone shaking and raised hands. People screaming Korean chants loudly like the building itself vibrating.
Fast-paced, bright lights, still swinging. Fight night,
Heavy lungs,
cold stare,
still dangerous.
everywhere. Everywhere.
Middle of the round and momentum shifting. Duo slipping outside combinations, then firing back immediately afterward with brutal, clean precision. That sequence changed the energy instantly. The audience exploding afterward. Beer flying through expensive seats while commentators lost control completely. His opponent looked slow, but suddenly still dangerous. But there's a beat pressure while Duho kept advancing forward like adrenaline replaced exhaustion. The bass shook beneath the cage, making every second feel enormous. Every exchange sounded cinematic under giant white television lights. The horn finally cut through the chaos. Bodies exhausted beneath bright lighting, and both men stared across the cage, still breathing hard through adrenaline. Some rounds feel forgettable, others live forever in crowds. Tonight the second round became violence. People would replay for years.
Second round, chaos.
Still echoing tonight. Heavy drums and shattered calm running through the building.
Second round, chaos.
And after the cage went silent, the audience still looked stunned by what they just witnessed. Look up! Hey, 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 hey. Vegas nights always feel artificial. Bright lights covering dark intentions, but fight week changes. The city makes everything feel more dangerous. Black SUVs outside the arena, security yelling through crowds. Sports bars packed before sunset, while bass roll through casino walls. Through whole train quietly through all of it. Late night sessions after interviews, sweat dripping beneath dim lighting, while cameras chase louder stories. That's the strange part about fighters. The loudest moments start privately, long before arenas explode inside lonely gyms. After midnight, the walkout tunnels smell like smoke. Korean flags rising through darkness. Fans screaming before the music dropped like the city waited all week. Then the speakers detonated violently and the entire building reacted instantly. Phones glowing above the audience while Duho
Step toward the cage. Back in Vegas,
heavy lights and bass hits. Every scar, every dark year,
still carried into this. Back in Vegas,
pressure through the roof. Every step inside the cage
made the whole crowd move.
with the cage closed with metallic force, and suddenly everything narrowed. No cameras left inside his focus. Only movement, timing, and violence. His opponents circled aggressively early. Fast kicks trying to establish rhythm, but Duho stayed perfectly balanced. Like pressure slowed his heartbeat. One clean counter cracked loudly, and the audience erupted afterward. Commentators screaming through static while beer flew across sections. That's why fight nights feel electric. 1 second changes everything. Thousands emotionally connected together inside one brutal, unpredictable moment. The baseline beneath the octagon made every exchange feel enormous. Every punch carrying tension under giant white arena lights. Years of difficult recovery visible now, not weakness but sharpened patience. The type of confidence built slowly through surviving painful seasons.
Fight fast, move clean, still dangerous.
Still mean,
Bright lights, cold stare, still hunting
everywhere. Third round in the atmosphere unreal. Fans screaming through every exchange. Nobody checking phones anymore. Too much tension trapped inside the fight. Do hold back toward the fence briefly, then exploded forward immediately. 3 clean combinations landing sharply in the building. Lost control. That moment changed the entire energy. The crowd suddenly sounding emotional. Like years of frustration, they exploded together under bass and white lighting. Sweat flying beneath giant cameras. Bodies exhausted against the cage. Still both men refusing caution. Too much pride left inside there. The final horn echoed across Vegas. Bodies breathing hard beneath bright lights. And Duho raised his gloves slowly while Korean chants filled the building. Some cities remember fighters differently. Tonight Vegas sounded personal because his return carried energy. The whole arena could feel. smoke bass rolling through the entire building, while the audience screamed endlessly. Fight nights always feel surreal. Luxury mixed with aggression, expensive watches beside bloody knuckles under giant television cameras. To host a call beneath the lights, hate wrapped tight around bruised hands. No dramatic emotion on his face, his focus sharpened by pressure. That's what made him dangerous tonight. Not reckless movement or anger, but complete comfort inside chaos, like violence slowed his heartbeat. With the walkout shook the whole arena, could reach hands moving through darkness, phones raised above screaming crowds. While smoke covered the tunnel, that reaction came from memory, from most people never forgot, because violent fighters leave marks long after the cage closes.
Bright light violence.
Heavy drums and sirens, every exchange felt dangerous.
Inside the roaring silence. Bright light violence.
Pressure through the roof, every punch inside the cage
Made the whole crowd move.
The cage locked with brutal force, and the atmosphere tightened instantly. No distractions left beyond that point. Only time and movement and reactions. His opponent attacked aggressively early. Fast combinations cutting through space, but Duho answered without panic, like years away, sharpened instincts. One clean shot changed the momentum. The crowd exploding afterward. Commentators screaming over static, while security rushed the barricades. That's why combat sports feel addicted. Wanna change changes everything. Thousands of emotion connected together inside one brutal, unpredictable moment. The baseline beneath the octagon made every movement feel cinematic. Every punch carry electricity across thousands of standing fans. Sweat flying beneath giant lights, bodies crashing into the fence. Still need the fighter slowing down. Too much pride trapped inside the war.
Fast pace,
Black smoke.
still breathing,
Still close.
still close.
Cold eye.
Heavy sound,
Heavy sound.
still dangerous. Right now.
Final round and nobody sitting in the crowd screaming through every exchange. Beer flying above expensive seats while cameras chase violent moments. Duho slipped outside a combination, then answered with brutal precision. The whole building reacting together like thunder splitting concrete. That moment changed the atmosphere instantly. The opponent suddenly moving backward while career chants echoed louder. You cross rows of standing fans, bodies exhausted beneath bright lighting. Still need the fighter choosing caution, because some fights stop feeling tactical and start feeling emotional. The horn echoed through the arena, bodies breathing hard against the cage. And Duho stared into the audience while flashes exploded everywhere. Some performances look temporary, others burn themselves into memory. Tonight, bright lights and violence made the whole city remember. Bright light violence still echoing tonight. Heavy drums and white smoke shaking through the building. Bright light violence, and long after it ended, the crowd still sounded louder than the arena speakers.
Yeah. 1, 2, with a go. Fight, two. Yeah, yeah.
The city felt different during fight week, like tension floated through the air. Sports bars louder than usual. Every screen replaying old knockouts. Vegas lights reflected off black SUVs outside the packed arena entrance. Fans wrapped in flags and jerseys, yelling predictions through security lines. Backstage smell like sweat intake. Cold water bottles stacked near gloves. Coaches pacing narrow hallways while bass rattled through the walls. Duho sat still beneath white light and no wasted movement in his posture. The type of calm fighters carry when they already accepted pain. That silence looked dangerous tonight, especially inside all that noise, because people chasing validation never move that quietly before violence. Then the music exploded, suddenly smoke rolling across the tunnel floor. The crowd jumping to their feet before he even reached the cage.
Fighter energy.
Heavy bass and bright screens, every scar, every heart, yeah, still alive inside me.
Fighter energy.
Pressure through the crowd, every step toward the cage made the whole place louder. The cage closed with a metallic snap, and the atmosphere changed immediately. No headlines left inside that space, only movement, time, and an instinct. His opponent attacked with fast pressure, sharp kicks cutting through distance, but Duho stayed completely composed, like chaos slowed down around him. The first clean counter landed hard, and the audience exploded afterward. Beer flying above expensive seats while commentators screamed over static. That's why arenas become addicted. Wanna change surreal. Nobody sitting in the audience, phones raised over screaming crowds, while sweat flew beneath giant lights. Do hold back toward the fence briefly, then exploded forward with combinations. The entire arena reacting together like thunder, splitting concrete apart. That moment changed the atmosphere instantly. The opponent suddenly moving backward while Korean chants shook the building across rows of standing fans. Bodies exhausted against the cage wall, still both fighters refusing caution because some fights stop feeling tactical and start becoming emotional wars. The horn echoed through the arena, bodies breathing hard beneath the white lights, and duos stared into the audience while cameras flashed endlessly. Some fighters win and disappear, others leave, entire crowd shaking. Tonight the arena felt alive because fire energy took over.
Fire energy.
Still burning through the speakers, heavy drums and screaming fans made the whole night dangerous.
Fire energy.
And after the crowd left solely the noise, still stayed alive inside the city streets. One, two, three, come! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, 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 yeah! Yeah, 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 yeah! Whoa, 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 whoa! No careful moving from the opening bell. Both fighters beating in the center instantly. The crowd roaring before punches landed. Like violence already filled the building. Vegas sounded enormous that night. Bass shaking through giant speakers. Fans packed tight around the octagon while cameras floated through smoke. Duho looked sharper than expected. Cold eyes beneath bright white lights. No hesitation inside his footwork like years away. Built harder instincts. His opponent dropped was an early pressure. Fast combinations cutting through distance. But Duho answered immediately without giving space emotionally. That's why some fighters become unforgettable. Not because they avoid danger, but because they choose chaos publicly under giant television lights. The first exchange cracked loudly in the arena, exploded afterward. Beer flying across expensive sections while commentators lost composure instantly. Heavy pressure non-stop. Every exchange shook the cage like thunder ready to drop. Bass rolling through the crowd. Every second of the fight made the whole place louder. Middle of the round and momentum shifting. Bodies dripping sweat beneath bright light, and still neither fighter slowing down. Too much pride trapped inside exchanges. Duho slipped outside a combination, then fired back with brutal precision. The audience reacting together instantly like electricity moving through the building. That's what makes me fight. Nights addicted to the unpredictability of violence. One mistake changes everything inside one brutal emotional second. The baseline beneath the octagon made every movement feel cinematic. Every punch carrying danger across thousands of screaming people. Yeah, it's not painful. Recovery visible, not weakness, but heart and discipline. The type of patience fighters built through surviving difficult seasons. His opponent landed clean briefly. The crowd gasping all together, but Duho answered immediately afterward like pressure fueled aggression tonight.
Fast pace.
Woo!
White slow.
Still breathing.
Still breathing.
Still close.
Still close.
Heavy head.
Heavy head.
Cold stare.
Cold stare.
Still dangerous everywhere. Everywhere. Final round and the crowd exhausted, still screaming through every exchange. Nobody checking phones anymore, too much tension trapped inside the fight. Do hold back toward the fence briefly, then exploded forward violently. Three combinations landed clean and the whole arena lost control. That moment changed everything instantly. The opponent suddenly backing away while Korean chants echo loudly across rows of standing fans. Sweat and blood beneath giant cameras, bodies exhausted against the cage. Still neither fighter choosing caution because this not feeling tactical. The horn echo shuffling through Vegas, bodies breathing hard in the white lights, and Duho raised his gloves slowly while the audience kept roaring. Some fights become statistics, others become atmosphere and memory tonight. Full contact violence made the arena impossible to forget.
Full contact.
Still shaking through the speakers, heavy drums and violent rhythm echoing through the building.
Full
arena already sounded different. Fans louder than the prelim. Fights like everybody expect the violence tonight. Vegas lights flash through smoke. Bass rolling beneath giant speakers. Beer stacked beside expensive seats while cameras chase celebrity reactions. Backstage, new hold wrapped his glove tightly. No dramatic speeches around him, only cold breathing beneath white light. And in years of pressure sitting silently. That's the thing about comeback fights. The emotion starts before the cage closes. Every step toward the octagon feels heavier than normal nights. The tunnel filled with Korean chants, phones blowing above the darkness. Then the music detonated suddenly and the whole building stood up together. The reaction wasn't accidental. It came from unforgettable wars because crowds always remember fighters who refuse safe performances. Made even feel it. Heavy bass in the ceiling. Every scar, every fight still burning through the evening. Made even feel it. Pressure through the floor. Every step toward the cage hit harder than before. The cage locked with metallic force and instantly the atmosphere tightened. No distractions are beyond that point. Only timing, movement, and survival. His opponent doping aggressively. Fast kicks trying to establish rhythm, but do stay perfectly balanced like chaos. Slow down around in one clean exchange, crack loudly. The audience exploding afterward. Commentators yelling over each other while beer flew across sections. That's why fight nights become addicted. 1 second changes everything. Thousands emotionally connected together inside one brutal, unpredictable moment. The baseline beneath the octagon made every movement feel cinematic. Every punch carry electricity across thousands of screaming fans. Years of recovery visible now, not weakness but sharpened hunger. The type of confidence fighters built through surviving painful seasons.
Fight pace,
Cold stares,
still dangerous,
still there.
heavy lungs,
Bright lights,
whole arena.
feels fight night, 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 night. Feels fight night. Final round and nobody's sitting. Bodies exhausted beneath white light and still both fighters refusing caution. Too much pride trapped inside the cage. Two holes slipped backward off the fence, then exploded forward immediately. 3 clean punches landed sharply and the whole arena erupted. That moment changed the atmosphere instantly. The crowd sounding almost emotional like years of tension broke apart in the bass and giant lights. Sweat flying beneath television cameras. Commentators completely losing composure because moments like these feel bigger than rankings, money or contracts. The horn echoed across the building, bodies breathing hard against the cage. And Duho raised his glove slowly while Korean chants filled the arena. Some